Well, a very good morning to everybody. It's been a couple really cool crisp mornings here in Maryland lately. Had some frost on the ground, frost on the windshields of the vehicles. Fall is definitely set in and winter's on the way. So today we're going to get going on some more bucking. We've also got a delivery scheduled this afternoon, and you're going to go along with me on that as well. It's a delivery of just a face cord of camp firewood. But there's still some logs laying here in the yard that we need to get taken care of. And I've got the 500i out, of course, and I've got the 32-inch bar back on there. And most of you who watched the video a couple weeks ago when I unveiled the saw and talked about how gracious Ben was for gifting this to me at the Paul Bunyan show, you mentioned some very valid points about the longer bar. You all know Buckin' Billy Ray preaches the longer bar all the time so that you can stand up and buck. Me being 6 foot 3 inches tall, I find myself bent over a whole lot, and a lot of you have mentioned that to me in the videos before. So I'm going to try to work on that with this longer bar, get used to using the longer bar and using the power head up against my leg to kind of let my lower half carry some of the weight of the saw, because with the longer bar it does make the saw a little bar heavy. It's not as balanced with the longer bar, but it's certainly going to help me not be bent over as often, which in the long run should definitely help out my back. But we're going to get going on that. I'll show you what's over here and tell you what's going to be coming up here soon according to the tree service. So stick around. All right, so a couple weeks ago we got done the locust, the oak, this little bit of maple here, and then we had some ash over here as well. So I did process another load of the ash that was laying right here, and there's still one load of ash left to get done. We're going to take care of that today. And then we've got this load of walnut laying right here that I'm hoping we get taken care of today. And the reason I want to get all this cleared out is because the tree service has let me know that he's got a job coming up that's going to have a good bit of cherry on it. So I want to make sure I've got room to dump a load or two of cherry logs here. And cherry is hard to come by, it seems like. Those jobs don't come up real often. But when it does, he knows that I love to get some cherry in here. So you're going to be seeing that coming into the yard here real soon. And there's also down at the furnace, just down over the hill behind the property here, a storm went through last spring and took out a whole bunch of trees down there. It's mostly sycamore, which I'm not a big fan of, but there's some cherry down over there, there's some maple down over there, and a little bit of oak. So we're going to be actually working at the furnace. We're going to be getting firewood at the furnace here real soon. So that's something to look forward to coming up as well. But anyway, I'm going to get the chaps on, get my safety gear on, get the 500i nice and warmed up, and we're going to let her eat. Well, there we go. The pathway is once again open. I can now get the truck through here to get to that last row over there. Plenty of wood to split now. This is just the pile of ash. So there's going to be a whole lot of splitting coming up here soon. But now I can get through, because this wood's going to be going out of here this week. So I can get over to here nice and easy. But for right now, I need to get this order loaded up, 1/3 of a cord. It's going to be a mix of ash and maple, I believe. We'll get that loaded up and get that delivered, and when we get back from the delivery, hopefully we'll have some time to at least get started on this last pile here. So a small little change of plans here today. I went ahead and threw a little bit of the maple in there that was sitting on the side over there. The rest of this load is going to be ash right out of this pile here. It's just shy of a full cord, so with the maple that I threw in there already, that'll make up for it. So I'm going to throw some of this maple in, or this ash in here right now, and round out this load for the delivery this afternoon. But the delivery has been pushed back a little bit. I'm going to do it this afternoon / this evening. Taylor's got a volleyball game, and I'm not going to miss her game, so we're going to do the delivery after she plays. And then once I get this loaded here, I'm going to have about an hour to start working on that load of black walnut over there. So I don't think we'll get through that whole load today, but we'll get started on it, and we'll get this delivery done this evening. But I did want to talk to you a little bit about what I think about using that 32-inch bar on the 500. And I got to tell you, it's growing on me a little bit. You know, growing up and being around saws, and you know, my father, my grandfather, and friends that I've been around using chainsaws, it's kind of always been the theory that if you've got a small tree, use a small bar. If you've got a big tree, use a longer bar. Well, I'm pretty much convinced that that's not the case anymore, and I'm trying to develop a new mindset, because that 32-inch bar and trying to kind of change my habits and learn how to stand up and buck was pretty good today. I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of that. You kind of got to learn how to let the power head sit on the inside of your thigh, so you're not carrying the weight of the saw the whole time, but you let the power head sit on your thigh. And with that longer bar, it makes it a little heavier on the front. And you just kind of set the bar on the wood, and the weight of the bar and the saw automatically pull it through. So a good sharp chain is a requirement, obviously. The chain was sharp, and I feel like that worked out really well. A lot less bending over for me today. So I'm going to keep using that longer bar and kind of retrain myself on using that, and I think that's going to work out better. I'm still going to keep, now obviously if you're using a longer bar, you have to have a saw that can pull it. So I mean, the 500 has no problem pulling that 32-inch bar, but like say the 261, you know, I like that 261 saw. I would never put a bar that size on there, obviously, because it just doesn't have the CCs to pull it. So I'll keep the 20-inch bar on the 261. It does pretty well with that. But as far as like what we were doing today, I think I'm going to continue using that longer bar. So I'm learning too. So there's 1/3 of a cord thrown in the back of the dump trailer. Could have thrown it in the truck, but when we get to the delivery, it's so much easier just to be able to dump it rather than throwing it all out. So we'll come back over here and start working on this walnut. I forgot that there is a couple sticks of pine in here. If you remember back when we got this walnut off the job, their chipper truck was just about full. They didn't really have much room. They were going to have to take the chip truck and dump it to come back to make room for a couple sticks of pine. So I just told them to go ahead and throw it on there, and I'll burn that for myself. But we'll get the 500 back out and start chipping away at this. And I have run out of time here for the bucking part. Not too bad for about 40 minutes worth of work. We got that walnut, that pile of walnut there, and then that small pile of pine there behind it. But we made a pretty good dent in the pile. Won't take too much longer to finish that up. I'm gonna go watch Taylor play some volleyball, and then we're gonna do this delivery. All right, so the volleyball game is over, and Taylor's team won. They played 3 sets, and they won 2 out of the 3 sets, so that was awesome. They were really excited. It was good to watch. Picked up a hitchhiker on the way here today. After the game, Brady jumped in the truck with me, and he's gonna ride along with us on this delivery. So we're heading up the road. Of course, I will film the dump for you. It's just 1/3 of a cord, as you know. He's gonna use it for a party he's having this weekend. Said he's gonna have 2 solo stoves going. So he wanted about a pickup truck's worth of wood, which we know is about 1/3 of a cord. So that's what we've got on board. We're heading up the road, and we'll see you when we get there. All right, so that delivery went well. Brady was my cameraman for the dump. We were delivering to a guy who's having a party at his house this weekend, and he was more than happy with the amount of wood he got. He said he didn't expect to get that much, but he is a professional meat cooker, and he's bought some wood from me before for cooking, but this time it's just for bonfires, for recreation for the party he's having this weekend. But I want to give him a little shout out. His name is Not So Famous Dave's Barbecue, and he does an excellent job cooking meat. He was actually just at a competition this past weekend, he was telling me, and out of 250 competitors, he finished 2nd. So that's pretty good. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked watching the 500 run with the 32-inch bar on it. Like I said earlier, I'm slowly becoming a fan of the longer bar. So I want to thank my buddy Brady here for riding along with me today. Yep. It's nice to have some company. It was about a 20-mile drive. It was a pretty drive too. Yep, through a lot of farmland, and the leaves are changing on the trees, so it was a nice drive. We're heading back to the house now. I hope you all have a great week. Check out some of these videos here at the end, and we will see you next time. Have a great week, everybody.